Welcome back to WordPress Widgets Front to Back. In this screencast, we're going to take a look at preparing the plugin directory so that we can begin writing code. So, let's ensure that MAMP is running, and this includes Apache and MySQL. And then let's launch Coda 2. Navigate to your site, and then depending on what work you did last time, Coda may open up your file explorer into the plugins directory. If not, you can locate that by going to WP Content and then Plugins. We'll be calling this particular plugin Front to Back because that's the name of the course, and it's going to give us a full summary of everything that we're going to do here in this course. So click New Folder and say Front to Back. We use lowercase and hyphens because that's the WordPress convention. And let's create a plugin.php file. Let's create a CSS directory, and let's create a JS directory to house our JavaScript files. Now, we're not going to fill out any of these files just yet. However, as we've mentioned in previous screencasts, this course is going to cover some advanced tools such as less for pre-processing our CSS and JSLint for linting our JavaScript file to making sure that we're writing clean, standard, and maintainable JavaScript. In order to do that, I like to keep my files organized. So I'm going to create subdirectories in both my CSS and my JavaScript directories. First, we'll create a subdirectory in the CSS directory, and we'll call it less. This is where our less files are going to be kept. Similarly, in the JS directory, I'm going to create a new folder, and I'm going to call it dev. The reason that I called the subdirectory in CSS less is because the files that will be contained in that directory are less files. And the reason that I named the directory dev in the JavaScript directory is because these are my development JavaScript files. They'll be unminified, they'll be commented, and they'll be pre-linted. Once we use the advanced tooling, namely CodeKit, which we'll be reviewing in the next screencast, all of the files will be minified and then will be written to the root level of the CSS directory and the JavaScript directory, respectively. Next, I'm going to go ahead and create a less file. Actually, I'm going to create two less files in the less directory. The first one will be called admin.less, and the second file will be called widget.less. The admin.less file is where I'm going to write styles that will style the dashboard, or the administrative area of WordPress. The widget.less file is where all of the styles that affect the public-facing view of the widget will be kept. Similarly, for the JavaScript directory, I'm going to create admin.js, and then I'm going to create widget.js. These two files serve the same purpose. Admin.js will be responsible for handling any eventing behavior that occurs in the browser in the dashboard, and widget.js will be responsible for doing the same thing, but on the public-facing view of the site. Now at this point, let's open our web browser and navigate to WordPress. If you're already logged in, you may see the admin bar. However, if you're not, simply navigate to localhost/wp-login, wp-login.php. Fill out your username and password, and then click on the plugins menu. Notice that the only two plugins that you see on this dashboard page are Akismet and Hello Dolly. Even though we've stubbed out our plugin directory, we haven't provided enough information for our plugin to show up here in this area. In one of the upcoming screencasts, we're going to take a look at exactly what's required to do that. But first, we need to configure CodeKit in order to manage our less and JavaScript files. In the next screencast, we're going to take a look at CodeKit and how to configure it for our project. After that, we'll then review the WordPress widget API so that we know exactly what needs to be included in our widget in order for it to show up in the WordPress plugin dashboard, as well as how to get started with writing code. I'm really looking forward to the next two screencasts as they should begin to bring everything together. I will see you in the next screencast.